What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to go through my Game Week 8 first team selection, my initial thoughts of my team, some of the key trends and topics that we're all talking about ahead of the Game Week 8 deadline. It is international break, so there will be a confirmed team selection next week. No transfers have been made yet, but here are my current thoughts, some transfer plans, some teams and players I'm looking to target and who I'm potentially looking to sell. Now, just before we dive into the whole video, a slightly more serious point. There have been a few people who have had their FPL teams hacked over the past couple of weeks. If you haven't already, please make sure you go and change your FPL password to something that is completely different to anything you use on any other site, and do it now if you haven't done it already, and use it as best practice to do this every so often to make sure you don't lose your FPL team and it keeps your team and your account completely safe from what has happened and unfortunately happened to so many other people. So if we dive into the video now, we're going to have a look at what my team looks like now and then what I will look like with the potential transfers, and then we'll do a bit of live tinkering and everything like that. So at the moment, my team is set up in a 4-4-2 formation. So at the back, we have Sanchez, of course, starting for me. White, Cancelo, Trent and Rudiger. So I am transitioning to this big at the back formation. I'm very happy with this back four. Now Trent at the moment is yellow flagged. We don't know whether he's going to be back for Game Week 8. I'm pretty optimistic that he will be, and so he's in my starting 11. But all of these five have really nice fixtures, so I am quite hopeful for some good returns. And I don't really think that I need to use my transfers on improving my defence anymore because it's looking really strong. That Arsenal defence looked great. That Brighton defence as well. They look like a really solid team, and it's a great prize for Sanchez. Cancelo was very fortunate at times, potentially not to get a red card. There were a couple of trips where he left a dangling leg, and I was pretty nervous in the Liverpool match, but he got there with a 0 point, and we've now got that brilliant Manchester City fixture run. Liverpool and Trent, again, I'm very happy with him. We know what he's capable of. And Chelsea. Now, he has Brentford away. Brentford have looked good recently, but I'm still backing that Chelsea defence. I don't back it enough to go for double Chelsea defence, but with one of them, it is enough for me and my team at the moment. So moving on now into my midfield to add on to this strong defence that it looks like on paper with the fixtures this week. So again, we have some quite strong fixtures. We've got Salah with Watford away, Rafinha, Southampton away, Greenwood away at Leicester and Benrahma away at Everton. So all four of them are away from home, which isn't exactly what we want. We do prefer that home fixture, but I'm still pretty happy with all four of these. Now, Rafinha is yellow flagged, not because he's actually injured, but because there is a slight chance that he doesn't make it back in time for Game Week 8. Brazil play on the Thursday evening or on the morning of Friday before they then play on the Saturday for Leeds. So there isn't enough time if Rafinha is to be in the squad for Brazil on that sort of Friday morning, Thursday evening for him to get back and be fit and ready for Leeds on the Saturday. However, we have had sort of rumours that he should be fine to play. Maybe he's not going to be in the squad, but at the time of recording, Leeds are expecting Rafinha to be back and available for Game Week 8. So it's just there as a little bit of warning to me, but he should be fine. Greenwood away at Leicester, he's been a bit disappointing in the past couple of weeks, as has Benrahma. Salah has really been carrying that midfield, along with Rafinha as well. But Greenwood and Benrahma, I do definitely have my eye on at the moment. I'm quite happy with them with their fixtures this week, but there will be a bit of talk about them when we get onto my transfers. Now, to complete my complete team, we have Antonio and Lukaku as the two up front. So Antonio has Everton away like Benrahma, and Lukaku has that Brentford away fixture, as does Rudiger. Again, two away fixtures, a lot of away fixtures for my team this week, but I'm still pretty happy with how their fixtures are lining up on paper. Sarr and Dennis on the bench at the moment, so they play at home to Liverpool. However, it seems that Fabinho and Alisson will both not be available for Liverpool in Game Week 8 because of those Brazil commitments, and they will be in the squad for that second and third game for Brazil. So it is a slight concern about whether maybe we get a new manager bounce for Watford, and with those potential injuries or suspensions for the Liverpool team because they are in quarantine, again, maybe I should find a way to start Sarr in the team. But this is how I'm lining up at the moment. Let's have a look at some of those potential transfer questions I might be thinking about doing ahead of the Game Week 8 deadline. So as you can see on the right hand side just below me, I have one free transfer and 0.7 million in the bank, and there are 4 players who I'm considering transferring out ahead of Game Week 8. So the Watford duo now do have a very difficult run of fixtures. Now, it is unclear exactly how they're going to line up with a new manager. We don't know if Dennis is even going to be in the lineup. We don't know whether Sarr could be playing on the right mid position, or he could be playing right wing, or he could even be playing as a second striker. So it's a little bit up in the air. For example, if he's playing right mid, I definitely think I want to sell him. But if he's playing as a second striker, then he could be really good value for money. So I might just want to hold him on my bench this week and wait and see. Elsewhere in my team, Ayling continues to be a player that I want to transfer out. So he is red flag now. He's Sounds like he's going to have an operation to deal with his injury. Doesn't sound like he'll be back anytime soon, and I don't like that Leeds defence particularly anyway. And the final one we have is Mason Greenwood of Manchester United. Now, he hasn't looked great. He got returns in all 4 of the first game weeks, but hasn't had a return since Cristiano Ronaldo has joined, and he's not looked nearly himself. He's taking a lot of shots, but not as high quality chances, and hasn't looked quite as prolific as he maybe did in these opening 4 game weeks. So these are the 4 players that I'm potentially transferring out. Let's get my team up on screen now and have a look at exactly those transfer moves that I could potentially make going into game week 8, or if I decide to roll my transfer, what I could do in future weeks as well. Boom. So team up on screen. Let's have a little bit of play around. So I do have 0.7 million in the bank. I am still wanting to go slightly bigger at the back. I am still wanting to go to a sort of 4-4-2 structure, which has probably White on the bench to come in every week for when one of my defenders or midfielders get rotated with the heavy schedule that's coming up. So Ayling out definitely is still something I want to do. Now, looking at the Chelsea and Manchester City defence, I still think Manchester City is the stronger way to go. So this is how my team is looking from a defence point of view and what I'm aiming to get in the next couple of weeks. But I am a million short of getting to this team. So I will need to free up some money elsewhere, and we've looked at potentially, selling Greenwood in order to get that, selling Sarr potentially, or selling Dennis. Now, I think Greenwood, if we have a look quickly at the Manchester United fixtures, they're not that great. Leicester away, Liverpool at home, Tottenham away, Manchester City, and then Chelsea a few weeks later. So I think it's fair enough, given his returns in the past couple of weeks, that I do slowly look to move on Mason Greenwood for my team. He has scored just 5 points in the last 3 weeks combined, having returned in all of the previous 4. So especially with Marcus Rashford coming back, I do think Greenwood out is potentially a transfer that I'm likely to make. However, given that I think that Diaz will come into my defence, I don't necessarily think it's worth a -4 for me this week. So I may end up playing Greenwood this week and then looking to bring in both for 2 free transfers the following week. But if we look at some potential midfielders that I could get as a Greenwood replacement, it leaves me with 6.5 million in the bank. So if we have a look at midfielders and we sort up to a max price of 6.7. So if we see here, Benrahma, Doucouré, so the Everton guys are definitely appealing. However, their fixtures coming up, they have West Ham, Watford, Wolves in the next 3, then Tottenham, Manchester City, Brentford, Liverpool. So they're mixed, they're fine. It could offer a good way to rotate him into my team. Saka was the one that I was initially targeting, so their fixtures over the next few are really nice. Crystal Palace, Aston Villa at home, Leicester away, Watford at home, but importantly, they have 3 out of the next 4 fixtures all being at home, so I like all of them. And the final one that I'm considering going for, I think, is Mbeumo at the moment. So yes, they have Chelsea at home this week, so which is why I may roll my free transfer and just go with Mason Greenwood in my team for this week. However, next week they then go on a run of Leicester at home, Burnley, Norwich, Newcastle, which is really nice. Mbeumo playing up front, he's only 5.5 as a midfielder, but is playing as a second striker. He's also got 2 returns and 2 goals, more importantly, in the last 3 game weeks. So another midfielder, a really nice option as well, who's way under budget that I could use to free up a little bit of money. It could then upgrade Dennis, for example. I could upgrade Benrahma to another midfielder later down the line. So I think Mbeumo is currently the favourite to come in, but he won't be coming into my team this week. He would be coming into my team for Mason Greenwood next week as part of a 2 free transfer move to go for this as my team structure. So it would be a 4-4-2, I think, each and every week. So I'd play Salah as well as 3 of those 4 cheap midfielders, the 2 up front, and then the back 4 would probably be Rudiger, Diaz, Trent, Cancelo, but I will of course have Ben White there each and every week because there's likely to be rotation with Champions League. Those top teams like Chelsea, Manchester City, and then those midfielders as well, there will be rotation with them. So it allows me to have a lot of squad depth, but of course I do still have my wild card as well, which I can play when I want. But at the moment, this is the current plan on my transfers. I haven't done anything yet, and I won't be doing anything for the time being. And at the moment, I'm planning on rolling my free transfer into game week 8 and then making 2 transfers next week with Greenwood out and then upgrading Ayling, who looks to be out for a while. So that is my current transfer plans, my team thoughts ahead of game week 8. If you have found it useful, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. Drop any comments you guys have in the comment section down below, or message me over on Twitter. My DMs are always open. I can help you out, wildcard, transfers, anything like that ahead of the game week 8 deadline for any game week throughout the season. Of course, as I mentioned at the beginning, go and make sure you have changed your FPL password to something very secure. Good luck in game week 8 if I don't see you before then. Enjoy the international break, and I'll see you all again very soon.